So I thought I had to, go to Harvard and do library research and sit there for many, many years and to find out the answer. It turns out it wasn't that hard. Um, there's no such thing as a third world nation. Uh, they aren't third world, they're second world nations. They're all under Soviet control. Because, do you know how I know this? Um, okay, so if we look at the countries that are called developed nations and countries that look at developing nations, and in the developing nations, quote, quote, air quote, um, they don't like these ex-colonialists. So let's look at some of the examples. There's United States, there's France, there's United Kingdom, there's Spain, there's Portugal, and so on. And now let's look at the countries that have signed the North Atlantic Treaty Agreement. There's United States, there's France, there's United Kingdom. Do you get it? Marxists made up this theory of developed nations and developing nations in order for the ex-Soviets to keep these, third world nations under their control. So, like, they tell these people, you are a poor country, and you have no hope, and you are worthless people. And the NATO countries are the ones that are responsible for your poverty and your destitution and your war and so on. So, yeah, that's my discovery. Now let's go back to the good news. Good news. Open Microsoft file. Speech. Or what? Okay, so the good news is that the good news is that North Korea is safe. North Korea is okay now. It's perfectly fine now. So I formally invite the British Foreign Ministry to establish a favorable trade treaty with the North Korean government in order to establish a extraterritoriality treaty port in North Korea. I'm obsessed with this concept. This really has to happen because of the following reasons. Because this for a lot of reasons. It aids trade between northeastern China and the United States. So, hypothetically, if North Korea becomes a new Hong Kong, in gaining most favored nation status in North Korea, it's going to be a wonderful influence to everybody involved. So let's elaborate further on the American interest. North Korea has been for many, many years acting as a buffer state. We know what that is, right? Buffer state to the United States in terms of the United States national security. Oh my God, my hair is crazy. Okay, so these representations of the Imperial Korea, my ancestors were looking over this part of the international trade, which is connecting China to the Anglo-Americas. So yeah, Kim Jong-un, right? He's the youngest son of my maternal grandfather's subordinate. Kim Jong-il was my grandfather's subordinate, John Kwan's subordinate. And John Kwan was assassinated. John Kwan was, sitting in a coffee house like this, and he let some random Russian guy poison him. So, yeah, and there was no one looking after the Americans in this region. So Kim Jong-il was taking that responsibility. And that's how he got assassinated too. We had the same doctors. So the responsibility is left on me, and I can't handle anything about military, so I've handed a lot of the rights to the United States government and regarding northern part of our peninsula. So the United Kingdom of Great Britain, which the ex-Soviet Russian military won't feel as threatened as the United States, and yet it can still be a military ally to the United States. So the UK is the perfect link. You're the missing link to the North Korean, Northeast Asian security issues. So yeah, military security-wise, this United Kingdom and North Korea trade treaty is unspeakably important to the United States and its homeland security. Secondly, there's the British interest. I'm not exactly a British politics specialist. I'm not. And I hear things about, world economy going bad, so I thought it wouldn't hurt to, even if it's going well, I thought it wouldn't hurt to sort of make such arrangements because, first of all, North Koreans are cultural descendants of the Chinese Empire. So there's that. And secondly, they have a lot of resources. Such as, minerals, mines, educated human resources, and as you are already aware, technology. They have, hardcore, world's best technology in terms of nuclear science. So, if you establish a trade treaty with North Korea, it's all ours. It's all, the allies, the NATO, the U.S., the Anglo-American side of things. So, plus they have the world's most accurate intelligence over Siberia and the ex-Soviet military. That's how the last bombing threat was saved. And a couple of other things I found out for not important. Some things are better unaware, don't you think? It's a really selfish thing to say, but I can't handle a lot of these things on my own. So, yeah. Anyway, so I think the British should utilize these resources and help the world economy in connecting China with the United States in an unprecedented scale. The United Kingdom should send envoys to establish favorable trade agreements with North Korea, and it's going to save the world economy. So, how is it good for me? I'm a representation of the late Imperial Korea, and I think this could be answered if we look at, why the Russians want North Korea under their control. So there are a couple of things. Russians have been wanting North Korea as a satellite state, basically. They tell people that it's poor, they tell people that it's evil, they tell people that it's destitute, etc., etc., because to them it's a very important region in Southeast Siberia. So, there's the natural resources, there's the technology, there's the nuclear sciences, there's the human resources. And to the Russians, North Koreans are Americans in the Northeast Asia, so they constantly fear the American presence in North Korea. Because North Koreans have been the Soviet military's, cute little moneymakers, and they don't want to let North Korea go to America, and that's why the British have to, sort of intervene, economically, as, by making North Korea as treaty port. So, yeah, and I think this madness has got to stop. North Korea isn't yours. North Koreans are not North Koreans. They're, Southeast Siberians, and They deserve to do whatever they want. If they want Americans in their country, they can have Americans in their country. If they want to give their resources to Americans, they can give their resources to their Americans. If they want to give military intelligence and nuclear science information to Americans, they can do that. So you really have to let them go. And I know that you've been attacking me. I know you've been, killing all sorts of personnel that have been have been contributing to this effort. So I just know it, and by me putting on Facebook this fact, other people are going to find out. So you killing me isn't going to stop anything. So anyway, Prime Minister David Cameron has been a life-saving influence to North Korea, to South Korea, and indirectly to the United States of America, and consequently the world economy. So now I'm going to wrap up. And before I finish, I apologize to our fellow ambassadors. Ambassadors are diplomats are not at fault, because you guys are only doing your jobs and representing your military and your people. So I apologize to Mr. Putin and the incumbent Russian head of state for the blasphemy, but I'm just trying to help with your disarmament process and the welfare of the Koreans. Russian women don't like Russian men that are fierce, that are in the military attacking other people, killing other people. Russian women are half your population, and I'm just pointing out to you, you're going to have to live with them. And they don't like you. They don't like the Russian military. They don't like Russian men being in the military, shooting other people for no reason. And, they're not going to sleep with you if you keep doing that. If you're already married, they don't love you because you kill other people in other countries. So you should ask them.